Hello, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast for this weekend coverage of the Copa Elite Six. My name's Riley Knight, and I'll be your host this weekend. But before we begin, of course, we would like to take a moment to acknowledge and pay respect to the loss of an icon, a pillar of the Rainbow Six community, Kickstar, who, of course, as you may know, passed away, sadly, on Monday night. The Siege community will never be the same with the loss of Michael. If he touched your life in any way, big or small, our hearts are with you at this time, and in particular, our thoughts are with the friends and family of this fallen icon. And we dedicate this broadcast and our efforts to him this weekend. He was a bright light. He'll be sorely missed. Rest in peace, Michael. We've prepared some vision, a few clips here to commemorate his career, and we hope to acknowledge the enormous loss that we've all suffered recently this week by beginning the broadcast, as I say, with this vision.
That looks to have been the second one. Wag is going to miss it. Narrow shot on Nest, but Nest won't miss his, and on full HP, he's going to have full control of Projector, and because of that, able to take down Julio. Psycho whips out the SMG pistol, but the nade from Sexy will shut him down. Kamikaze, the last defender, but he can't make it happen. What a round from Nest, and what a round from Liquid to take it.
Michael, when is your rap album dropping?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Up and coming, we have a very exciting 10-minute break for you since we are so very ahead of schedule, and we'll see you after those 10 minutes.
People in general are awesome. You know, like, there's always this association with your average person where you're like, oh, they're out to get you. The truth is, I don't think so. I think most people just are trying to have a good time, trying to live a good life, and trying to enjoy themselves. And I sincerely hope, from the bottom of my heart, that you, on this fine, wonderful, whatever day today is, I have no idea, are having a good time. I hope that everything works out for you, and I hope that you're happy.
A sad day, not just in the world of Rainbow Six, but of course the entire gaming community. Personally speaking, I've worked in various esports communities, Magic the Gathering, Age of Empires, and the loss of this bloke has echoed a lot further than Rainbow Six. I can tell you that from firsthand experience. I didn't know Michael personally, but I certainly looked up to his talent, his craft, his expertise, his charisma, and it's a terrible loss to this community and to gaming and esports in general. I'll bring in Ollie and Demo at this point and get your thoughts. I mean, Ollie, we'll start with you. You know, as a caster, as someone who, you know, is involved with Rainbow Six in these broadcasts, this is something that it's gutting. It really takes it out of you.
Yeah, it really does, and yeah, I think it just throws a lot of things into perspective. And you know, you really just got to give all of your thought and energy at this moment to Michael's friends and family. Obviously, it's those people that we want to be thinking about now. They're the ones that are left behind, and we just got to, you know, remember the great things that Michael was able to do inside and obviously outside of the game. And it's just gutting. It really is. It's heartbreaking.
It really is, and Demo, I know for you, you know, again, as a caster, as someone who I'm sure looked up to Michael in the way that so many of us did, it's got to be pretty heart-wrenching for everyone at the moment.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of being able to cast with Michael on two separate occasions, so I think it was one of the lucky ones who did manage to actually work with the guy. So yeah, I mean, was a real master of his craft. I don't think anyone can doubt what he's done in terms of the color casting department. You know, he won Esport Color Caster of the Year for that reason. So yeah, big loss. And again, just condolences to his friends and family at this stage.
A hole has been left in the Siege community that will be very, very difficult to fill, and I don't think anyone really will seek to fill it because Kickstar was larger than life, and he'll be very, very sorely missed. But as I say, this broadcast dedicated to his memory, and we're going to do our damnedest to give you the best show possible this weekend. As we get underway with the Copa Elite Six, of course, the culmination of Stage 3 play in and across Latin America. We have a 3-day broadcast to bring you. We'll be doing the quarterfinals today, the semifinals tomorrow, and of course the final on Sunday. And we do hope to have your company throughout the weekend. Let's have a look at how we got to where we are right now with the group standings from the group stages that we saw played throughout the week. We can bring up the graphics here, and Ollie, I'll get your perspective on some of the stuff that we saw. Group A, Group B, both of them telling very different stories. Furia utterly dominating Group A, a lot tighter in Group B there, Ollie.
Yeah, it really was, and I think maybe something that a lot of people's eyes is immediately drawn to here is the fact that MIBR, the team that we were so desperate to qualify for the Copa Elite Six, actually just crashed and burned. They crashed out into that last place spot. They've already been eliminated. I think they were already eliminated after sort of day 2 of play, given the results that had gone up until that point and what was actually available points wise. But as you say, Furia coming out here and absolutely dominating. They had a shaky few weeks at the back end of the BR6. Their last 2 weeks and last 5 play days were pretty shocking on the whole. So for those guys to come in and have a really good performance inside of Copa shows they maybe were just holding a little bit of something back there in those final few weeks. Liquid, where would we be without Liquid up and in amongst those the top couple of teams? It really does seem like that's just something that's never going to change. And then as you say, Group B, a lot tighter down there. Team 1, FaZe and NIP all vying on 9 points apiece. Good to see that NIP are putting in a little bit more of a performance here, given their stage that they've just had inside of stage 3, which again was a pretty shocking stage throughout.
We had some incredible results come out of both of the A and B here, Demo. Talk us through some of the stuff that caught your eye, because there were some whitewashes, there were some 7-1, 7-2, 7-0s even, and then we had some teams like Malvinas taking teams to overtime. It was incredible.
Yeah, it's been a weird old week. I look at the first game that was played. Fury came in straight away, 7-0'd Liquid. I mean, that's a statement in its own, Riley, to really put out and say, we're here, we'll be going to Sweden, nobody's taking that away from us. And to be fair, Furia, fair play to them, they're going to Sweden and nobody took that away from them. So yeah, like I said, Furia coming in brilliantly. MIBR were the real surprise factors. I mean, Ollie, whenever we looked at MIBR this season, we looked at their Kafe, a very strong map for them. Look at their Clubhouse, very strong map for them. We looked at Coastline, very strong map for them. They played all 3 of those maps and they lost every single one of them. What do you say about that?
It's the prepare factor, isn't it? I think that MIBR were probably so focused on making it into Copa that they didn't actually have any sort of plan beyond that, because everybody else was already locked in and so far ahead. They could just focus on prepping for Copa Elite, but MIBR were a step behind, and then it's pretty cruel. The game started literally on the Monday after the last game was played on the Sunday. So they didn't have a great deal of time to really adapt themselves, and I think they just got caught out by that.
Yeah, it certainly didn't go their way. MIBR knocked out and will not be appearing this weekend, of course. We can have a look at who will be and get underway with our schedule. The 6 teams that remain ready to do battle across 3 days of competition to be crowned champions of the LATAM League region here. We can have a look and see. This is where we ended up with our quarterfinals, starting off FaZe Clan versus Malvinas. That's our first one today. We're getting across that. And then secondly, Team Liquid versus NIP. The winner of our first quarterfinal, FaZe or Malvinas, will be facing off against Furia, and then as you can see, Liquid or NIP will be going up against Team 1 tomorrow before our grand final. All of this best of 3 seeds across the weekend here. And Demo, we got some pretty interesting matches to get across today. And ahead of the show, you were explaining, you're talking about some of the other stuff that's on the line for these teams that sort of goes beyond just the Copa Elite 6.
Yeah, everyone in Copa Elite 6 wants to win this tournament and get themselves into Sweden. Well, we don't actually have to win the full tournament, but get into a top 4 position. And as you can see, Furia and Team 1 are already in a top 4. So those 2 teams, they found out yesterday that they will be going to Sweden. So we know 2 teams that will be at the major in November, but we still have to find the other 2. And that will be decided today. FaZe Clan or Malvinas will join that lineup, and equally so will Team Liquid and NIP. So we are resting, I think, in pretty high demand of some good games tonight, Riley. I think every single team here will go out and they will just lay it all in the ring.
Yeah, there is really not a situation where you want anything left in the tank after you've finished here. FaZe Clan Malvinas, one of these will be going to Sweden. Team Liquid NIP, again, will be deciding who heads to the major today with these matches. So that's absolutely massive. Our first match begins FaZe Clan versus Malvinas. Let's talk about these 2 teams and get a perspective on where they're at and where they're going. We're going to have a chat about these 2 teams, have a look at who's involved, who'll be getting stuck in. Looks like we've got some VT lined up to have a look at these 2 teams, and then we're going to get underway with the matches. So let's get to it. We've got Furia. Sorry, it turns out we do not have the VT. Excuse me about that. Let's have a look at our first team here. Team Oh, sorry, FaZe Clan. I'm getting mixed up. Excuse me. FaZe Clan here. Let's have a look at their lineup and get stuck in with what they'll be bringing to the table. Talk to us about FaZe Clan here, Ollie, and what we can expect from these guys, who, of course, we've been keeping a close eye on throughout the BR6.
Yeah, absolutely. FaZe, obviously top of the tree inside of the BR6. They finished inside of that top spot. It's still a little bit contested as to, whose sort of rule book you're reading off as to whether they were top or not. But I think in our opinion they were first.
Yeah.
Given the point standings and the way that the head-to-head actually shapes up. And they've had a great Copa, and it's good to see. We don't typically see FaZe have a particularly good Copa Elite 6. It tends to be one of the things that they kind of fall at that final hurdle. But here they're in the conversation. They're in that second place spot. They've already had 3 wins, and they're looking to make it a 4th, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, they've got their work cut out for them here because Malvinas certainly not one of the teams that we, I guess, expected, in fairness, to get to this point. But, anything can happen. Once again, Malvinas, they're going to put their game face on, see what they can do. But, Demo, it's going to be a tough uphill battle against FaZe Clan, who seem to be in pretty good nick.
Yeah, will be. FaZe Clan, I think, Riley, for me, has been that team to watch. A team where they didn't make it into top 4 in the last Copa Elite 6. They didn't make it into the last major, and it did hit them hard. So FaZe Clan being able to really rally this season and play some exceptional Siege. Malvinas is going to be up against it. These guys are definitely the underdogs. They are the only remaining side that could still get into the top 4 that isn't from Brazil. So they have all the hopes and dreams of Argentina on their side, Riley. So it's going to be a big challenge, but it is Siege, and it depends how you show up on the day.
Well, we're going to find out very shortly here. Let's get underway. Our first quarterfinal begins. FaZe Clan versus Malvinas, a spot at the Sweden Major up for grabs. Let's get underway with the first quarterfinal.
Thank you very much, Riley. We're going to be hopping on in to the game very shortly. We're timing this to perfection, shall we say. We're going to join at the loading screen. We've just seen the operator bans, and I'm sure that we'll be able to get the map bans up on screen as well, as this is, of course, a best of 3. First map going to be Kafe. Capital, Thatcher, Valkyrie, and Awami, all removed here. Any thoughts, Demo?
Kafe bans look pretty well, I think, for what we expect to see. Capital would really be the only thing I'm thinking, okay, is that really a worth ban? I mean, Capital at the moment doesn't really see play in the meta. Very, very rare you would see a Capital be brought into lineup. So it's strange to see that be banned, but maybe Malvinas know something that we don't. And I mean, FaZe Clan, they have the deepest operator pool in Brazil, in my opinion, Ollie. You look at some of the lineups they bring, the operators that they have at their disposal, how flexible every single player can be. There's definitely something that you can imagine FaZe Clan bringing. Valkyrie, no surprise. Thatcher, no surprise. Wamai, very, very good ban for Kafe. We see how heavy Kafe can be for utility. You look into positions such as Pixel, trying to get through 4 Wamai discs, 3 ASs, and Aruna gates. It's some difficult job, but it really is, I'll tell you that much. So, yeah, I think they're worthy bans, but really just a Capital, I'm not too convinced on.
Seems a little bit niche, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But we'll see how much of an impact it is going to have. Of course, we've not seen a great deal of FaZe play on this map. So, he's always a bit of a fact finder. And this is what we expect to see. Especially given that, in terms of what is on the line, the games that we've got today, Demo, probably mean the most out of the whole weekend for these teams. Okay, there's the prize money at the end, but realistically, it's the major spot that these teams are going to be gunning for, and those SI points. And that's essentially all going to be decided today, given that we've already got 2 teams that have already advanced on through. So everything on the line here for FaZe, and of course Malvinas, to get themselves a chance at showing what they're about on a bit more of a global stage. But not doing too bad inside of this round. They're going to open things up with a kill onto Cameraman. FaZe seemingly just getting stuck in the weeds a little bit here, going for quite a direct approach into sight. They've not gone for too much vertical control, and that hatch open is really causing Astro cause for concern.
Yeah, it's a very minimalistic take from FaZe Clan, certainly. Yeah, it's very risky to go for. Sure, essentially walking into a bit of a bottleneck. All it is just trying to win your gunfights. And to be fair, FaZe have done a good job though eliminating Socko, and now they do have access to 90, and that can't deny anyone playing onto towards that white stairs rotate. So Malvinas have to be careful now. He has got himself upstairs, and that's a good position for me. He can shut down anyone if they want to try and flank into pillars via reading. But it's just time now for FaZe. You have to burn through these smokes. You still have a minute to go. And this is fairly good time, I feel, from FaZe, but maybe that kill from BLK is enough to delay them.
Quite possibly. Still 50 seconds left, though, and with one to level it back from Souls, it's looking a little bit more likely. That isn't going to help anybody. Bullet. Team kill on the grenade. Souls bursting on into sight. Trying to take the gunfight, but immediately shuts on down through the ace hole. That one really is going to hurt. Souls eventually gets caught out in the crossfire. Malvinas, they're going to take round number 1 here.
Very easily as well, Ollie. It didn't look as if they were really under any pressure. FaZe Clan, a couple of issues there. Nade, team kill. I think that was somebody cooking a nade, Ollie. And unfortunately, that man then got swung, and the grenade was martyr-domed onto his teammate, which it does happen. It happens to the best of us. But FaZe, I mean, very, very risky take. If you're really trying to push in towards that fireplace, you need some kind of pressure, and I think the window would probably be something that they need. And also somebody pushing up white stairs. That's what they were lacking. Just other presence around the map. Put more pressure on that man towards white stairs. In that element, in that push, the only issue that you would have is somebody playing white stairs. If you have somebody else trying to challenge onto that white stairs from another angle, then whoever it was, the smoke, it was a mute, whoever it was, they cannot play in that position. They cannot deny you walking in the fireplace and getting a plant down.
I'm just looking back to the last time that we saw FaZe actually play this map. They played it inside a regular stage of BR6. Sorry, they played it inside of the Copa this last week against NIP, and they were able to get the win on it. So there's obviously a level of confidence there from FaZe coming in onto this. We're still waiting for a bit of confirmation on the bans. I think we'll be flashing them up on the screen as soon as we actually get them through from Brazil, because we didn't get to see them before getting thrown into this game. So there is a little bit of a question mark over where we're going after this and what it sort of means in the context of this best of 3. But for the meantime, you would expect rounds to be going to the defenders here on Kafe. It is one of those maps typically, especially with the sort of strategy that FaZe employed last time. There's an argument to say they maybe didn't give themselves the best possible chance of success given the take. They're going to be forced into something a little bit different now, though, as they are going to be attacking onto this top floor. So their attentions are going to be on the hatches. Their attention is going to be on clearing out that top floor.
Seems that FaZe were trying to play the gunfight gameplay, wasn't it, Ollie? Maybe FaZe are feeling a lot more confident in their gun skill, and it is difficult to not make a case to say that they won't be the better shooters inside of this lobby. To say that, though, BLK has been causing them issues. Ollie, he's currently 3-0. Oh, very unlucky not to get that fadeaway shot onto Cyber. Very close to the head. So a trade for trade. Both teams trading off one another. Minute 40 to go. And FaZe just looking to try and go for these hunts and eliminate these roamers as best as they can. BLK will get droned out, and Cyber jumped in straight away. Looking to aggro on towards Train, but BLK will win that engagement against them. And FaZe, no refrags from them. They're just falling like flies, Ollie, one after another.
Unfortunate stuff there. Really proving just how tough this top floor can be to attack into. Malvinas can relax now. It looks as though we're getting a little bit of action there on the peak. Cameraman's actually got himself in quite deep into the bathroom. Bullet's still going to be on the rappel, looking to just pick off any impatient players. This round looks wrapped up. It looks said and done. Bullet is going to swing himself in. You see Tom with that rotation onto the top of red, so further proving just how little Malvinas actually want to try and swing onto this. The pressure really on FaZe to make something happen. Cameraman, he's not able to do anything. BLK picks himself up a triple. Bullet finds one exit, but BLK with the quad will close things out.
BLK is a potential man to watch for this game, all it. Certainly shaping up to be that way, as Malvinas 2-0 up against FaZe. Keep in mind that this should be FaZe's match to win all day long. All day long. If we were to pull up, the betting standards for this match, I would say a lot of people would be putting their money on FaZe, 100%. But right now, Malvinas really causing them issues. And I think BLK has shown the capability of a roamer that he can be. He's getting pushed by Cyber, and just as cool as he likes, swings, take that engagement, takes that gunfight. So I'm impressed in terms of what I'm seeing right now from Malvinas, but maybe not so impressed with FaZe. FaZe seems as if they're playing reckless, not playing off the refrag capabilities that we know they have, Ollie. They've just been looking to take these one-on-one gunfights, and unfortunately for FaZe, they've been losing them.
This is the FaZe that we are typically used to seeing as well. If we think back to historic FaZe that struggle on attack, that goes in one at a time, that isn't really able to get anything going on the attack, you don't really think of a map like Kafe and think, yeah, it's going to be a good map for FaZe. So there's going to have to be something that changes here. Starting to see a little bit of a flex around in the operators as well. Cameraman this time bringing the Jackal. Playing the Lion up until now, but I haven't really been seeing a lot of value out of that Lion, so it really surprised me to see that change. Malvinas on the flip side, they're doing a great job of really giving FaZe quite a lot to do inside of these rounds. They're giving them a lot of things to focus on, a lot of areas to clear. Downstairs in the bakery now to make that clean sweep here on the defense, and then repeat. Cyber with some aggression. He's going to push on through, and we'll find the kill on to Tom. Tom just got caught lacking there. I think he got stuck on the door demo.
Unfortunate. FaZe enough to get the opening kill. And whenever FaZe they have that lead, Ollie, very rare we see them let it slip. I think FaZe have been great just establishing full map control whenever they're in this scenario. Already with inside a minute, the breach is open, and that gives them so much time to work with. And Malvinas maybe looking to try and pull some kills back and realize that they're not in a good position, and they're really trying to play reckless, almost FaZe-like in terms of these swings, but FaZe are punishing them this time. This is the FaZe we know. This is the FaZe that we fear. Is whenever they're on their form and they have everything going for them, they never let these leads slip, and that's the 2 versus 5. They know exactly where the Jaeger is, and it's only going to be a matter of time. Brasher does lose his life, but FaZe will still clean up a lot better from FaZe. That's the standard that they set. They need to keep up that form for the rest of the game.
They really do. They can't afford to let another attack slip now, really. They need to try and put this pressure on. Level things up to 2 apiece, and then look to be successful elsewhere. Reading Room and Fireplace again now. This is the first site that we saw, and it's somewhere that we criticised FaZe for having a very one-dimensional push. Hopefully that last round's going to give him a little bit more confidence. The Jackal as well kind of indicates that you're going to be going for a little bit more of a clear as well, as opposed to a Lion. You really want to get that Jackal upstairs and finding those footprints. Say that. Jackal's going to be 6 picked off. Nomad is going to be the pick instead. Still speaks to taking control of areas and then locking them off and not allowing such ease of rotation for these defenders.
So did we didn't discuss the map bans, did we, Ollie? I think we did.
I don't think we discussed them. They are on screen now, though. We've got them up there in the top right.
So, in terms of map bans and really how we've managed to end up here, so I'll run everyone through it, just to let everyone know. So, FaZe fans start off with a coastline ban, which is surprising. I mean, FaZe played against Furia, didn't they, Ollie? And it was a very, very close affair. I thought FaZe was pretty good in that map, so to see them ban it straight away is a bit surprising, but maybe that's just maybe that's Malvinas' best map, we don't know. And then a club ban from Malvinas, I think very, very wisely banning the club against FaZe. So Kafe straight away from FaZe clan, that was the first pick. This is FaZe's map. I think they must have been holding some stuff, because it wasn't really the map that I thought that it would have been their first choice this season. I thought their first choice map this season, maybe you would have looked at your chalets. I know they're a big fan of chalets, so see Kafe be brought out probably means that they were saving for this certain moment.
Yeah, quite possibly. And it's time to really sort of show us why you're saving the map at this point. You know, you've got to be coming up with these ideas. Bullet going to attempt to nade here. It's going to be perfect. Oh, does get caught by the ADS. I saw the red outline there from Tom, and I thought that he was a goner for sure. A second nade is going to follow it up, but the player has since dipped just a little bit further back into train. Still a lot of focus and a lot of attention being shown on this player, and really do hope that FaZe start going for a little bit more vertical now, because that player could easily be removed, the mirror window nullified. All of that can happen from above.
Astro, an easy swing. ELK, ready for a quick aggression that FaZe can bring to the table. That does leave Malvinas in a tight spot, so they've lost the man inside a piano who's giving them a lot of pressure. I don't know if I like that from Mike right now, as they get a little bit aggro and really utilize that mirror window, gains the information, and then swing onto those open holes in the piano, but he doesn't look as if he's safe right now, Ollie, and I think for good reason. His teammates just been naded right beside him, and oh, he just about gets out of there. But once again, FaZe, they've got what they wanted. They have the upstairs control. Bullet has found another, and this is where FaZe just start toppling on their opponents, and they put in so many kills on their side of the map. Thomas went for a very late rotate, but he can't do anything. He was getting held. That's a good swing, though. Eliminates cameraman, but diffuser going down with a minute still to go. It's going to be a difficult retake for Tom.
Very tough indeed. He is going to drop the hatch and immediately try and take some pressure here. Does achieve a down onto Astro. He isn't going to be aware of the player inside wheel, however. That player is going to be Cyber. Very quickly shutting him down there. FaZe focusing on the objective, getting that plant down, and even then thirsting after the kill. You could see the two players running up White Stairs. Cyber making a rotation over into train. They were thirsting after that final kill.
Good pace from FaZe. Very, very good pace. Being able to clear out the entire top floor within 2 minutes, still leave them about a minute to go for the vertical action. And I think for reading as well, you don't need as much vertical compared to other maps. And I think that's probably down to the fact that the laundry hatch is always going to be open. That laundry hatch makes it very difficult for any defender to hold reading. Because in that environment, Ollie, if you put one breach in charge above like the reading, kind of like little overturned bookshelf, the little wooden kind of area that people would sit behind. If you breach in charge that above, and you know nobody's there, you know nobody's going to be inside a laundry because the hatch is open. It's the easiest plant of your life. So you really don't need that much time to establish a plant for reading. It's all about the top floor. The top floor takes up most of your time.
Back up to the top floor now. FaZe have managed to pull a couple of rounds back. Can they be successful here? This is the round where we saw 3 bodies fall very quickly for FaZe.
A lot of 1v1s.
A lot of 1 versus 1s. A lot of single engagements. A lot of people just trying to be that impact player. Bullet and cameraman, the clock was just ticking for those guys after that initial exchange.
I'm Malvinas. I'm a little bit worried because two statistically best players in terms of opening kills and real big entry plays has been Cyber and Bullet for FaZe this season, and to see both of them on 5 kills and 2 deaths, Ollie, doesn't bode well, because it's not as if you're dealing with one of them, you're dealing with both of them. You know, we've talked about a player like Fantasy this season who has been a real big standout for this stage, for Furia, the kills he's put up, the standout performances he's had. And then we look at Furia. What happens if you have Fantasy, who is doing all these crazy plays and putting up all these crazy numbers, and then the rest of the team is also playing at their best? I mean, Furia, I've looked at the team at some stages where they could be world champions, Ollie. We know the depth of that team, and I think FaZe, they have a similar story. Yes, we know they have these solo carries. You know, we've seen Bullet show up massively on certain maps this stage. But if FaZe Clan, if all 5 of these gunners are on point, nobody's beating them.
Well, the good news is that FaZe is still alive at this point.
Taking benefits, but I don't know how long they're going to stay alive for, because look at Cyber. This is the same engagement as that last time.
Much slower start, and it's needed. I think FaZe need a slow start here inside of this round. They can't afford to be throwing things away so soon. Malvinas have recognized that, and they've come back from any sort of roam or lurk game that they were looking to attempt. They're going for a much more direct approach. Souls gathering a little bit of info. Nice little 2-for-1. Yeah. Buy one, get one free offer. A Malusi and an ADS. We love to see it. Sends a second Rotero drone in, maybe for the barb or to remove the player behind the reinforced wall. And that is going to do just exactly that. Pushes Ragnar back, but not for long. He's going to be able to retake that position shortly. Next Rotero drone comes in and just gathers a bit of info. Tells FaZe that there's somebody inside of the freezer. It's looking dangerous, Demo. It's looking like it could be a hatch drop. We're now seeing some stuns come in from Cameraman. This could get quite messy quite quickly. FaZe haven't really done all too much. They've taken out Tom, but there's still a lot of things to do here. Oh, with that swing from height. Cameraman, sit down. Not an easy angle to challenge onto, but he makes it look easy. 2 quick kills coming in for Malvinas. Surely that's it for FaZe.
Not looking good for them. They didn't even open up the freezer wall or any walls for that fact. That's a great nade from Bull, and Astro has covered Souls on the defuse. The diffuser goes down. Astro with a second. Now it's down to Socko. A 1v2 diffuser planted default. Let's see if he can retake. A drone gets sent in for some information. They know exactly where he is, and you can see very, very swiftly. Actually, Ollie, they've used the drone to open up below the diffuser, and Astro has rotated downstairs into reading corridor. And even if Socko wins this engagement, which he won't, Astro would still have the cover from below. Great little adaptation there in the post plant from FaZe to actually make that move. So even in the end, I think FaZe Clan would have had that locked. Great round from FaZe. Was surprised they pulled it off in terms of the standing that they were in. But still, FaZe, they push on 3 rounds in a row.
Just shows what a team like FaZe can do with 20 seconds. That's all they had there inside of that round. It was around 20 seconds to actually get that plant down and to really start working it. And they were able to do just exactly that. Very easily could have gone the other way, but they finally took a lead here for the first time today. Malvinas struggled since those opening 2 rounds. Back down to Kitchen. This wasn't a site that went too well for them at all. A little bit of an adaptation here. We're seeing not only a Clash be brought, but we're also seeing a Warden come on in now as well. Really struggled with bakery control last time, Demo, and I think the Clash pick really speaks to we're going to try and hold bakery for a little bit longer.
Yeah, it is certainly an interesting pickup considering I think the real issue that Malvinas struggled with was you look at how FaZe were playing. FaZe had really no intention of going upstairs. If a team isn't going upstairs and they're just solo going bakery, why then do you not have people playing upstairs and reading, impacting above the breach and making sure they can't plant? FaZe can have as much bakery and kitchen control as they want, but if they're still upstairs pressure, and keep in mind that you cannot plant anywhere without, you know, a hole above you saying, well, maybe in towards the double window, but usually getting there is going to be a very difficult challenge. So I think really if Malvinas put more pressure on holding above, I don't think they need the Clash, because yes, I know Clash can be great at really gaining information and delaying the enemy side as much as you can, but that's, I always say this, it's always one less gun on defense. It's always one less gun, and if you give away that opening pick, then you're essentially a 3v5, even though it might be a 4v5 in terms of man count, but a 3v5 in terms of people who can actually get kills.
Well, we got Tom playing quite aggressively here. Looking immediately to try and deny this access, but they're not really going to be too concerned. Immediately opening up in through prep. Sure, it gives Tom a little window to peek from, but realistically, the nade coming on in there as well, chunking him down by just a little bit less than half. Rotero drones doing their bit to try and maneuver these players as well. Ooh, great opening engagement there. 3 kills fly on in here for FaZe. Ragnar drags one back as he does make a rotation in through main, but he's going to be the last player standing very quickly. We've not even seen half the round, and it's already looking wrapped here for FaZe. Cameraman, he nails that final nail into the coffin, and there we go. Great round from FaZe. Quick, sharp, not phased at all by the Clash pick.
Not at all. That was a demolisher of a round for FaZe. Just brought in the wrecking ball and just smashed Malvinas to pieces. Wow. 4-2. FaZe, we're 2-0 down, and they were looking, oh, it's old FaZe again. They're just back to trying to fight for their kills and fight for the 1v1s and just show that they have the best gun skill. They were getting, sat down, but they managed to screw their heads on, and that is the FaZe that we expect. Every single round that FaZe have had since they lost their second round, it has been undeniably a FaZe round.
It's not taking them long to get warm, has it? 2 rounds, that was all it took, and after that they've looked pretty unstoppable. Malvinas just looked like they'd run out of ideas. Everything that they was trying was just being met by resistance and a pre-decided answer almost from FaZe. Let's see how Malvinas fare on the attack. Attacking into that top floor. This is almost the new meta for the top floor, I'd say, Demo. The castle, the Aruni, bulletproof camera, the mirror windows. Maybe you're just missing the smoke. Maybe we could try and fit a smoke in there somewhere. But the mute's also pretty nice to have. The mute's going to do a lot to deny the drones. So FaZe
really
looking pretty comfortable here.
They don't need it, because if you look at how they're setting up, they've got the mirror windows. Mirror on top floor is extremely strong, like incredibly strong. The whole idea of an attack on the top floor is take red control and then push into piano. With mirror being open, it means that piano doesn't get touched. Astro, you are cutting it close. Swings back with a pistol after doing really well to get the refrag on the BLK. He went for a second swing. He's still alive, though, and does a lot of damage to Might on top of that. But the mirror windows all out are so difficult to deal with that the way FaZe are playing, they're not playing for the end game. They're not playing to deny a plant. They're playing to deny just anyone getting in the building. That is what FaZe are trying to do right now.
Well, they're not doing a bad job of it at the moment. Plenty of drones available here for Malvinas, and you can see that Ragnar there is just sort of communicating various things with the team. So I'm going to try and push it in. He's got the skeleton key, so could try and affect vertically here. If he gets a good bit of info, we could maybe look to displace the mirror. Maybe remove the mirror window, remove the glass. Just something that's going to give his teammates a little bit of an easier time on this top floor. ADS going to eat up that nade. Soul's way out of the way for the second. ADS will be destroyed, however, and a bit of a vertical angle will now be opened. Looks like it's framing up for an east-sided take, which is really dangerous to do, especially given the fact that you're going to have to try and fight your way in on the rappel. The setup almost forces it at this point.
Yeah, it does.
Tom needs to get busy below.
The main issue for Malvinas is that to get in, they have to swing onto windows, and swinging into windows is never ideal. A very easy position to really exploit is if someone swings in, you simply pre-fire. You know where he's going to be. He can't move anywhere. He's stuck in an animation, for goodness sake. So very, very difficult for really any window play to work for them. I mean, Ragnar has got a great kill though onto Astro. Still a lot more bodies that they need to try and find. The mirror window forced them to go for that east side take. They went into reading. They tried to remove everything and anything that they could, but they never got rid of Soul. Soul's being allowed to play in behind Cocktail Bar has been the main issue for Malvinas. Socko has somehow found his way into long desk. I'm sure he will go down in a few minutes, and there he goes. There goes Souls with a double kill. It was only a matter of time. I think FaZe, Souls especially in this position, being allowed to play here, it was never in doubt that FaZe would win that round. Just a few things Malvinas really missed was eliminating Souls, I think. That was the main issue.
And they tried. They knew exactly where he was. There was nades that got sent into that location. There was players that were on the rappel, and Souls masterfully keeps himself alive there. I tell you, if there's one player that you want, who you've got to rely on to get a couple of kills and clutch it up, it's going to be Souls. He is the most consistent clutcher that we've seen inside of the BR6. I think back to Super Week demo. We were in awe at what he was pulling off. It was absolutely incredible. And it looks as though nothing has changed. It very rarely does. Great kill from the cameraman to open things up. And I guess that really, you hit the nail on the head when you said, you know, it's just, you're swinging. You're trying to get kills off windows, and it just isn't a possibility. And for the setup to force you into that, it just shows that there's something else that needs to change in what the attackers are bringing to the party, but we may not even get back to attacking that top floor again, as Malvinas currently trail by 3. FaZe Clan only need 2 rounds to take this map 1.
Indeed, 5-2 in good standing, and I think the worst nightmares for Malvinas is, unfortunately, came true for them. FaZe Clan, all of them are firing on all cylinders. I mean, Bullet sitting 10 kills right now, Ollie. Cyber 6 kills. You know, Souls has just appeared with his, you know, infamous last second just annihilation of a round. Everything that could go right for FaZe right now is going right.
Well, let's see if round 8 goes right for them as well. Malvinas, they've got a bit of a way to go here. Initially, players getting on the rappel and going to be getting themselves up onto that top floor and trying to go for this top floor clear. They're going to be met with quite a bit of utility. Mirror windows, reinforced walls, and a lot of players up here. FaZe don't want to give this top floor up lightly. Ooh, Astro. Sneaky dog. Keeps himself hidden there. Could find himself a freebie. Might pushes on through. Astro gives the game away. Still grabs one. Is he going to be able to drop the hatch? Yes, he is. Almost fluffed it, but managed to grab one in the end. Been able to take down Iana. His 2 nades. And, of course, the information that those Gemini clones provide. Astro's lit, but he really isn't going to mind at that point. A nice early kill. Backed up by 1 from Cameraman with a C4 as well. And this round is going very similarly to the last demo.
Yeah, Malvinas are seeing these mirror windows all in, and they're like, what do we do? Not much you can do. That's why we always see the mirror be banned out on Kafe, just because how strong she can be. I don't think Malvinas took advantage of that. I don't think they played the mirror windows compared to how FaZe are really putting in work with them right now, and it just kind of scares away Malvinas into areas of the map that they don't want to be in. Almonds managed to get a kill onto Bullet. Was that from Pixel? Was that them just trading off a Nomad charge for that? I think it might have been. So, surprising to see FaZe go for that trade-off, but I suppose a minute to go in a 4v3 scenario. Not much to have to worry about. See that FaZe, all of them actually retreated downstairs, and it has gave them upstairs. Never mind, there's a Maestro tucked into the corner. Souls did not move a muscle, and maybe that cost him. Could have had a very easy kill. Ooh. That's a great C4 from Cyber. Just catches Tom in the corner. And now Malvinas down again. Bad position, a 2 versus 3. No walls open for them. Stuck on 90 corridor, and you can see FaZe are set up for the crossfires. That man on white is going to be a big issue for them if they want to try and push in towards Fireplace. And Ollie, I think it's a similar story. It's only a matter of time before FaZe clobber them.
It has to be, doesn't it? 25 seconds left. Now we're seeing the wall be opened. Astro probably going to have the confidence to peek off this, given his health. He probably just needs to try and take an engagement, gather a little bit of info here. Soko going to be the first to fall. Cyber picks him off. Astro grabs the second. 1 health or not, it is not going to matter at all. Oh, it's disgusting. Hipfire as well for the final kill there. FaZe, they're going to put themselves onto map point. Looking to take an early lead here in this best of 3.
Impressive. Very impressive from FaZe once again. 1 round is all they need, and it will be on to the kitchen. Haven't seen them here yet, which is probably the only thing that we would kind of look at and think, okay, what are they going to do? In terms of lineup, playing for the plant denial more than likely. We see Echo be brought. Echo isn't the operator that he once used to be. Remember the days, Ollie? I mean, it was only about a year ago whenever Echo was insta-ban. Insta-ban, insta-ban, insta-ban. Always Echo being banned out. Play rate has decreased quite a bit. Obviously, the drone not being cloaked anymore whenever it's on the ceiling has been a big hit to them. But still, a very capable operator. The whole idea of Echo hasn't changed. It's still all about being able to disorientate enemies and deny the plant. More than likely, Malvinas have been a bit stunned. They'll be playing a bit slower. I think that's a given right now for the circumstance that they're on. They're not going to try and play fast. They're not going to try and play risky. They're going to take it slow and play as precise as they can. If they're going to play slow, that's where time becomes a big issue for them. That's where the Echo drones can become your nightmare. The smoke grenades are always going to be a given. So I think FaZe Clan, they've picked a good lineup considering that the circumstances that Malvinas are under right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's worth considering that Malvinas are a team that aren't used to coming up against too much opposition. You know, you think about their record inside of the Sudamericano and the 17-1, 17-1-3, 17 wins, 1 overtime win, 3 losses. So it's very difficult to know how they're going to cope when they start coming up against a team that is going to back them down and is going to put them on the back foot quite early on. And at the moment, we're not seeing that level of fight at the minute. FaZe are commanding this game in every way, shape and form, having only lost the opening 2 rounds, and even then it really just seemed as though they needed a little bit of a warm-up to get themselves into the game and to almost calm the nerves a little bit. Now with a pretty extended hold in this kitchen, we're seeing a couple of offside players, the usual positions being occupied here. Opening grenade comes in from Tom as he's going to be able to remove Bullet. Bullet's found himself as opening death quite a couple of times now. It's going to weaken the position a little bit there inside of the bakery, but all the focus at the moment is really on removing Cyber. He's going to be playing in behind the deployable shield. Does have the ADS as well to keep him safe. No hard breach going on yet inside of the bakery. That's really what I'd like to see.
Cyber gets tagged from every which way right now. One in the double window. One, of course, pushing in towards his white corridor. He does have Astra, though, supporting him. I think right now for Cyber, all he has to do is hold on to that double door because that window shouldn't be an issue. I say that, though. Astra has been eliminated, and now Malvinas. This looks to be their first attack win. Solidifying for them now. It is a 1v5. It is against Souls, though. We know he is a master of his craft, Ollie, but even that is too much for him. 3-6 now the scoreline sits. Malvinas still not in a good position, though.
That's the round they needed. They needed to get one on the board. Couldn't afford to wait any longer. It was a really good push because they were actually very competent in pushing from direct opposite sides at the same time. We had a bakery push coming in at the same time as we were watching the push in toward Christmas and the push in toward the Jaeger playing inside of VIP. So it was a really nicely coordinated attack. There was some good elements of teamwork there as well. You mentioned Astro was getting pressured by not only the bottom of White Stairs but also the double window as the pressure was coming in from the other side. The opening grenade from Tom as well to really kickstart the round in Malvinas' favour. But is that going to be enough? Is this where it starts? Is this where the comeback really begins? 3 clean rounds in a row to take this one to an OT. That's what's required right now. They're going to be attacking this top floor.
I'd be lying, Ollie, if I said yes it can. I just don't think it can. I think FaZe, they've let one round slip in the kitchen, which kitchen at the moment hasn't been the friendliest for defenders at the moment. Attackers have had some great success, great win percentage on that kitchen bomb site. We move back upstairs. This is where FaZe were so dominant. The mirror windows just completely paired Malvinas away from attacking Piano, and that kind of forced them into an east side take that they probably didn't want to go for, and it's very easy for FaZe to lock it down. We see one slight change for Malvinas, and that is Tom on a Ying. I said that Malvinas probably aren't in the risk-taking business, considering the scoreline, but maybe I'm wrong. We see a Ying. This has to work for them. If they're forcing a Ying, we need to see an impact.
They've signed onto the dotted line of risk-taking. They've signed the disclaimer. They know the risks. And they're very willing to take them here. If that Ying is used for anything other than flying down that skylight, I'm going to be really upset at this point. Because that's all it should be right now. If Malvinas are going to bring the Ying, they need to burn everything and they just need to full send it. Maybe we see it. Maybe we don't. At the moment, not everybody is actually on the roof. We're still waiting for a couple of players to get themselves up there. But there's pressure being established. Again, the classic Castle, Aruni, Mirror combination being used here by FaZe. All of this last time, don't forget, really forced an east side take. Now, Malvinas did lose a player early on, but they still didn't feel confident enough to drop in through red stairs and really make something happen there. So, we need to see where they want to try and develop this push. We've got players on that east rappel at the moment. We've also got a little bit of vertical action happening as well as Diana is just going to make her way up. We do hear the Candela go off. Tom, he's going to push in off the back of it. He's smoked off in through Freezer. The push from White Stairs is successful. 2 kills found, but equally FaZe grab 2 back. Soko, can he land the shots? The answer's going to be no, as Souls shuts him down from long range. Now a 3 versus 2, as Might is going to be the next player to fall. All now lands in the hands of BLK, as he's going to be 1 versus 3 here. The only player that's seen kills so far in this round. It would be an ace if he was able to do this. Got a minute. FaZe, are they going to try and push? The answer's no. Souls, he's going to just be holding the angle there off the corner of the bomb chassis. It's going to be map 1 going to FaZe.
FaZe, never in doubt really at that stage, Ollie, were they? Always ready for anything that was being thrown their way, and very, very well deserved by them, it has to be said. So, yeah. FaZe, that will push them into 1-0 in the series. Map 1 goes their favor. A little bit sketchy at the beginning, but never in doubt.
Yeah, FaZe, they were able to get the job done there. They lost 3 rounds there inside of that one, and you do just get the feeling that the kitchen site was a little bit unfortunate for them. The kitchen isn't a great site at the moment, as you mentioned, for the defenders, and it took FaZe a little bit of time to get themselves into that one, as obviously they've now got to prepare and get themselves ready. This being a best of 3, they've still got potentially 2 maps to play, but the guaranteed map at least is going to be Oregon.
Yes, indeed. A lot of Siege left to play here, boys. And while FaZe looked good there, we saw, I mean, don't want to get your perspective on this, Malvinas coming out of the gates very quickly, very strong early on from them. What do you think robbed them of that momentum, of that tempo that they had? Because they came in at 2-0, didn't they?
Yeah, they were, and I don't know if it was down to Malvinas really being, you know, in good spirit in those first 2 rounds, or maybe it was just FaZe a little bit slow. I mean, FaZe were very, very reckless. It was kind of the old FaZe that we've criticized, the FaZe that flopped a lot of times, where they were relying on these individual hero plays. But as time has kind of turned it around, we've seen them develop. We've seen them this stage especially. It's a lot less of that. It's a lot more coordinated. We didn't see that from FaZe in the first 2 rounds, but they woke up. They started playing the way that we've seen them play this entire stage. And from that moment, Riley, I just knew momentum was shifted, and momentum with FaZe at that stage, they were never going to lose that game.
Yeah, you can kind of feel it, the fact that Malvinas, they came in, they snagged a quick 2-0, like, okay, we're going to have a game in our hands here, and then FaZe kind of settled in, you know, they kind of focused up a little bit. You could sort of sense the momentum switch there. But, Ollie, I want to ask you, what do Malvinas have to do here? FaZe, clearly the dominant team. Malvinas are the underdog. What do they have to do from this position as the underdog in order to really challenge FaZe and try to claw back this next map?
I don't think it's going to be all that easy. We're going into Oregon next. It's a map that FaZe have not got the best of success on of late, but it kind of suits their sort of, air quote, new play style that we're seeing from them, because FaZe have brought on a new analyst that's providing them with a lot of information that I think, judging off the interviews that we had from Cameraman, was typically something that he was trying to take a lot of the load of. We've started to see FaZe be able to play a little bit more structured, be able to put a little bit more time and thought into the moves that they're making, and it all just looks a little bit more cohesive, because I believe that they've got a bit more time as a team to be able to do that. So for Malvinas, it's not going to be an easy Oregon for them, especially when it means, you know, either advancing or going home.
Yeah, exactly. A lot on the line here for them. Well, we're going to take a break, get the players set up and ready for our next map, so stick with us, everyone. We'll be back with more Rainbow Six Siege after this.
Go hard, or go home, go home, go hard, or go home, go hard, or go home, go hard, or go home. Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home, go hard, or go home. Yeah, these championship rings on my hands now. In my head, I'm top 10, yeah, that's hands down. You a squad, know you're looking man down. Funny how foes turn to friends now. Drive a race car like a Atari now. Call filling up, I need product, yeah. Treat the business like a playground, might slide on you. Do me wrong, might foul you. Do a backflip, cause I'm mad rich. I'm the definition of what that is. Go hard, or go home. Go home. Go hard, go hard, or go home. Go hard.
Continues here, Righto Night, joined by Ollie and Demo. We're going to get stuck into our second map. We've already seen FaZe Clan win here. We're heading now to Oregon to see if they can get a 2-0 clean sweep of Malvinas, or will they come back and force a decider? Let's get underway. We're heading down to Oregon for our second map here of our first quarterfinal. Let's get stuck in, alongside, of course, our casters here, Demo and Ollie.
Thank you very much, Riley. We're really not wasting any time at all today. I feel like we're having to sprint to keep up with this schedule, Demo.
Yeah, they said break. I sat in the same position, the same facial structure, and just didn't move.
Did you blink?
Nope.
I don't think I blinked.
Nope. I didn't have time to blink. It was that quick.
The games are coming at us thick and fast. Already on to map number 2 here between FaZe and Malvinas. This game for a chance to play Furia later on. Well, sorry, not later on. Tomorrow, that would be. And of course, a chance then to go on to the grand finals. For FaZe, this is all they need. An Oregon win here would see them through, guarantee them to the major happening in November in Sweden. Malvinas, they got 2 maps to find. They need to make very few mistakes from here on out. Strange old set of bans coming in. We got the Ying ban. It's a little bit of an off-choice one, Demo.
It's interesting to see these bans come in. I mean, I think the Ying is obviously expected from FaZe, seeing that Malvinas, they weren't afraid to play the Ying. We've seen it on Kafe. Valkyrie being banned out does now leave the potential of Mira being played, which, again, like I kind of mentioned about how Mira played on Kafe, where it can essentially force a team away from a push. The Mira windows be placed in Kafe, it meant that you couldn't push Piano. Equally, we can see Mira be brought for the basement, and it means that you can't go a laundry freezer take. It forces you into a blue take. So there is elements to where we can see Mira be very, very influential in this map.
And we have done. I can't remember an Oregon that we've seen where we've not seen Mira played, especially on this basement. It's almost been a staple. So it's weird to not see FaZe lean into that when we know that they're happy to play Mira elsewhere. Could be something that they look to do past round number 1, depending on how this one goes for them. They've got a solid lineup still. They've got the good old Mute Mozzie combination, restrict a lot of drone work, a couple of C4s thrown in there as well, deployable shield on the smoke. So they're going to be able to tick pretty much every box there. And I imagine that confidence is quite high at the moment on FaZe as well. They've just been able to win Kafe fairly comfortably. I don't think that they're going to be too concerned going into Oregon now. So we could see them go for a little bit more of a roam, a little bit more of a lurk than just stack the site. At least that's what these operators would suggest.
Heading in to first round of this basement attack, and look at how FaZe have set up Ollie. Very heavy on the roam game, surprisingly, considering that this is a basement defense. To see what 4 people off site right now is a bit of a anomaly, certainly. I think they're relying very heavily on Cyber here to do his job and make sure that he just doesn't die and doesn't get caught out by a blue take. They don't have to worry about Freezer and Laundry being pushed at any moment because they do have free roamers. If anyone manages to sneak down Freezer or Laundry stairs, I'd be very surprised. Malvinas are going to try and completely ignore this roam game and just go for your kind of basic default blue take, which at the moment I think is completely fine. This is one option you can take as a team, is let's just ignore the roamers though. And oh, ran out of ammo in the L8. That means that Cameraman has got away with his life. Very, very lucky. Extremely lucky that Cameron has not died there.
This is the confidence that we were talking about from FaZe, and it's sort of showing through. They're happy to get themselves out there on the roam, happy to waste that time. Near the Rotero drone there coming into blue. It's going to be dealing with all manner of utility that's in there. High priority target being that deployable shield that's no doubt on the elbow. C4 flies up from the electrical hatch as a nade comes down from Tom. Going to do something to force the players back as a second one is thrown in for good measure. Cyber has now lost his shield, but is still going to be fairly happy to play there. It really is a battle of the nades. That's a nice one thrown in by Mike, but again, it isn't going to do any damage. Cameraman, the only player that suffered any chip damage, and that, of course, was from the engagement that happened upstairs inside of Attic. Less than a minute left now. It's looking scarily like it could be a hatch drop, and if it is, it's going to be into the meat grinder for you. Because there's so many angles there being held. Thinkerstim is going to do something to give everyone a little bit of a boost coming into this, but a swing with a shotgun is going to shut down Might. Ragnar there with the immediate trade. Cameraman kind of giving his life up there, but Souls is going to start to find some kills, coupled with Astro, as that hatch drop went as expected. 25 seconds left for Tom to push through Freezer. Is he going to find anything? The answer being no. Astro with the swing there. Kind of surprised that he got away with that one. A lot of body shots going in and a bit of the soft wall coming into play. But FaZe, they look like they can do whatever they want here on Oregon.
Well, Ollie, ever wondered how the sausage gets made?
Yeah, very true.
There you go. Meat grinder set up, ready. Malvinas need to be finding more kills there of those nades. If they're bringing 6 nades, I'm expecting a kill at least. Very, very surprised to see all that utility be for naught. You mentioned only Cameraman had taken damage, and that wasn't from utility. That was from a very lucky, single bullet magazine left from the sledge. That was it. Just one bullet tapped them in the back. And yeah, these nades have not done a single bit of shrapnel damage, which is very, very surprising. So Malvinas, if you're bringing this utility, please make it work. Use the information you have with the drones and coordinate that. You let a man play on that pillar double door for way too long. Like, how is he allowed to stay there and not get naded out in time?
I think Tom's push through Freezer came a little bit late as well, given the context. If he'd have had a bit more of an opportunity inside of Freezer, he could have caught a few of the FaZe players off guard there and, as you say, maybe done a little bit of work to alleviate some of that pressure.
Yeah.
But a hatch drop always just looks so desperate to me. You just very rarely see it play off. You're relying on something.
You need blue.
You need a miracle. You need something going well in order for that hatch drop to work. You need a lucky headshot. You need somebody to, find an angle. You need to catch a defender sleeping. And they're not things that you can rely on. You need to take more control. And that's not something that Malvinas really looked to do there. Still, there is time. So we're going to be moving on here. Early info being gathered. Initially going to be Cyber, this time playing on the mute. Cameraman switched over to the smoke. Maybe going to get caught out there, but no, I say that. He's actually willing for the engagement. Got a little bit of assistance now as well as the troops have arrived.
Look at the roamers. Again, starts off with 3 people downstairs on the top floor hold. I don't know what FaZe are up to, but it's working out really, really well for them. Tom, there's somebody right beside you. He does have the shotgun, and Cyber isn't afraid to try and swing with it. So FaZe went for a bit of an oldie but goldie strategy, Ollie, and trying to hold in towards Kitchen. Astro walks down Arbery, finds another. What is going on? What is going on this series? It just looks as if FaZe are walking around the map and just taking gunfights. And they're winning the gunfights.
They're being gifted kills on a silver plate at the moment, and they're just saying, yep, thank you very much, I like this, I'll have another one, please. There is nothing more to it than that. Malvinas struggling at every single turn here, just hell-bent on taking these 1 versus 1 engagements and not giving someone like Cyber the respect that he deserves. He is going to challenge you on the roam with an SMG-11. That is the kind of player that he is. Socko finds some success. Finally, is able to shut down Astro as he did get caught on that rotation. Everything's slowed down a little bit now, and that's probably going to benefit Malvinas here. They've been able to get that wall open. Okay, did get a glimpse there of the player just making a crossover into Bungs, and Nate comes out to remove the mute jammer, any utility that might be stopping these drones from working forward. Still, Cyber is going to be playing downstairs. He does have a C4 in his hand.
We'll try and slip in and find out the information, eliminate some utility if possible. 50 seconds, and with Kitchen still being in control of FaZe, I mean, this is going to be very difficult for Malvinas to go for really any take at this moment in time. Everything seems to be covered by FaZe. They're not giving anything away. Flashbangs do get tossed in. Malvinas, and it's a good pick from BLK onto the man playing double window. C4 gets tossed, but that catches nothing. And cameraman playing below. He had those vertical angles for so long. It actually rotates up and finds that kill from Attic. BLK finds bullet, but it is going to be a 1 versus 2. Cyber and cameraman should have enough time to see it out. And if he picks up the diffuser, you have 1 on top, white, 1 on Attic holding the diffuser. And yeah, not taking Attic's really costed them that round. Malvinas does pick up the diffuser, but what's it going to cost them? Probably his life, and there you go, Cyber will find that kill. 2-0 FaZe. 2-0 FaZe, Ollie. This is not looking good for Malvinas. Not looking good at all.
It's really not. It looks as though they've already run out of ideas there. I mean, I think this extended roam and the lurk and the fashion that FaZe are playing in, it's not even giving Malvinas the chance to really have any sort of an attack, because they're getting wrapped up in dealing with this roam early on. It's costing them lives, it's costing them utility, it's costing them drones. And then when it comes to the part of the round where you want to be thinking, right, you know, we need to get Attic open, we need to get Game Dream Wall open, we need to start doing these things, they're not in positions to be able to do it. And that's because they've lost out early, they've lost utility, they've lost bodies early on. And they're not looking in position to actually make any sort of an execute, because they're getting dragged into this almost ranked style play that FaZe are bringing in, that they just know that they're happy to win the gunfights because they know that they're mechanically superior.
FaZe have just gone to their comfort zone, haven't they?
Yeah.
You can see them walk around the map, Ollie. They have sheer confidence. It looks as if any gunfight they go into, they're going to win it. Malvinas looks stunned. Absolutely stunned. And FaZe are playing certainly a different way of Siege that you would expect in Oregon. I mean, holding Kitchen never really happens anymore. Nobody holds Kitchen for the kids' defense anymore, but they did, and it worked for them really well. You start off of that aggressive roam game. And again, I wouldn't say Malvinas that they haven't really been by the book. Not taking Attic is always, in my mind, a bit of a blunder. I mean, Maverick is open. Why not bring the Maverick? I would say if you know you're attacking top 4, Maverick is a necessity for eliminating the Attic control. But they're just not bringing it. I think they're really hindering themselves.
We even had the ace 6 picked out of. I think Tom had hovered the ace earlier in the pick phase and then 6 picked on to think. Because I thought the same. I was like, oh, you know, you bring in a couple of hard breaches. That's usually a good start. You know, it gives you more options. But even that was picked off. Starting to see a bit of a take come in now as I think a stim and a couple of Zofia lifelines fly on through. Ooh, BLK going to come into himself with an engagement. He's managed to shut down Sol's. Got a glimpse at first. Played a little bit of ring around the rosy there. Looks as though there could be a flank on here. Armory Stairs looks dangerous, and it will be. Tom, he's going to start pushing his way on through, immediately taking down Camran, but Bullet is there for the refrag. Bullet now, a dangerous spot. We can choose to just hold this and then push at the right time. There's more information here needs to be gathered. 5 drones remain for Malvinas. The Ana clone comes out. Astro, not afraid to make those vertical angles either. Recognizing just how much of this top floor is now under Malvinas' control. They want as many opportunities as possible to have a chance at taking some of those players out. Information coming in as the drone works its way through the kitchen. Astro still has options here. Not sure if he knows that the player's dropped. How has he not heard that one? The swing comes through. In fact, it was the clone. Caught even me out at the time. Great use of the shock drone there. That could have opened up the whole round, Demo.
Yeah, it does now give them an opening to play off if they need to. Bullet, where are you headed? I think he has a suspicion somebody might be out behind the white band, but really getting a good position. Vertical game starts to come in for Malvinas, but they cannot secure that kill. Let's say that though, Cyber has been eliminated. BLK just walks in, eliminates 2, and Bullet all by himself picks up a freebie onto Sako. He has no idea he is in that position now. It's a retake for Bulla. Post-plant retake on top of that. 1 versus 3. Upstairs now. Left looks right. Doesn't know where to look. Nobody's upstairs right now. They're going to be playing the vertical angles from below. And BLK, there he is again. Had a great showing from himself in the opening rounds of Kafe. And it's a good way to get his team back in the game.
A much needed round there. Malvinas able to pick one up on the offsite. They maybe need a bit more than that though. A 4-2 split. Not sure if that would cut the mustard. Back down to Laundry here for FaZe. Now, double hard breach being chosen as Tom does switch from the thermite onto the ace at the last second and just give me a mini heart attack. But, and the thinker in play as well. Which is going to be 6-picked this time. Tom's still not locked in on the ace. They arguably don't need 2 hard breaches for attacking this site. We're going to actually see the Monty picked. Well, that tells you one thing, Demo. You might get the blue control you were after.
I hope so. I really hope so. I wouldn't really see Monty be played any other way. I mean, Laundry Freezer, of course, is going to be the kind of other alternative, but I think from what Malvinas showed us is that they weren't interested at all in Laundry Freezer. I know that you said that, oh, there was one guy pushing Freezer in the late stage. Actually, I went back and I did look at that round. The reason why that man was in Freezer is that FaZe actually had somebody flanking in the final, like, 30 seconds from top floor, and I think Tom chased them all the way down to Freezer. So that's actually how we ended up over there. Right. So, it happens. I mean, whenever he's tunnel visioned in, trying to deny the flank, he thinks, okay, I have to try and get a kill here. And he's just been baited in, hasn't he? He's followed the breadcrumbs and he's went straight into the witch's house. Because
it did seem strange that it was so late on in the round that that's where he was. Yep. It was like he was miles behind the rest of the team. I mean, based off the spawn alone, it's looking like it's not going to be a freezer.
It's insane how much stuff you do miss, isn't it? And whenever you're caught up in the moment. Hey, having a replay is just whoever invented the fact that we can rewind. Guy just, wow. Who is the guy that invented a rewind? Who is he? He needs a handshake.
It was PewDiePie, wasn't it?
Really? Give him a bro. Was he called the bro?
The YouTube rewind. Is that not what it is?
Outright. What are we What's happening?
Unsure. But for some reason, we've got a Monty on the roam clear. I don't think any of us would have bet this really, Demo, would we?
Nope.
Ideally, you want that Monty inside of blue.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty well suited, yeah.
And it's kind of ironic, right? Because this round, FaZe aren't really playing any sort of extended roam.
No, they're
FaZe are just going, yeah, we want this round. We're just going to play it the good old-fashioned way. Cameraman on the freezer stairs. I don't know if it's his favourite position, but it's where we see him most often when he's defending this site. He's going to play the shotgun up close, and he's going to try and, you know, keep control there. Now, the hatch, obviously, is a little bit vulnerable, and the hatch will be opened at some point. He's got Bullet there to assist. But already, the Toxic Babe canisters are going to start cutting off the access. The hatch will now be opened. But Malvinas, they've spent half of the round already. And all they're going to have to show for it is going to be the freezer hatch.
This is a great position from Cameraman. I mean, has the smoke. Monty can't do anything against him if he has a smoke. And Cameraman has the last one out. Here comes the pistol from the Monty. But he will go down and Nade will trade. But Cameraman has done the heavy lifting only. He's eliminated the Monty, the main spearhead of the attack from Malvinas. Is gone. It is gone. And this puts them down a very difficult location because, like you've said, all they have is Freezer. They have 50 seconds now to carry out a successful take. And there is still boatloads of utility still up for FaZe.
Yeah, FaZe have got pretty much everything here that they could wish for. The hatch drop does come in. It is going to be successful. First kill is going to go toward BLK. The Thinker Stim now going to boost everybody up. Cyber in with the response. Be a bloodbath that all happens inside of the freezer. There is a bit of information available here as well. Somebody needs to shut down that Iana because they are causing a lot of problems, and that someone's going to be Cyber. Picks up 2 with the Roni. Astro comes in with the closer.
Not just the Roni, the Ronies, Ollie, that we've just seen pull off a great success. The P10 Ronies hitting their targets, and FaZe, what a hold. It was looking a bit sketchy there for a minute whenever it goes into 2 versus 3. I was like, oh, maybe something's on for Malvinas, but Ollie, all 3 of them grouped up towards the freezer door. And it was so easy for FaZe just to sit and hold the simple angle. I think Malvinas really getting caught out there, being grouped up and just bottlenecked into where FaZe want them to be.
For that whole round to come down to freezer door is very strange indeed. Caraman's kill onto Tom was obviously huge, but Cyber, he'll probably tell you himself, they're not the hardest shots he's ever had to hit in his life. Players have stacked up for him for one, and all he's had to worry about is one doorway because there was nothing else. There was absolutely nothing else there for Malvinas. It was one of the strangest, both composition and coupled with how they then approached it, that I can remember seeing really attacking onto there. If you're going to bring the Monty, at least give yourself some options. The Monty doesn't need the support of the rest of the 4 players. He just needs the support of one to be able to take advantage of that shield and peek around off the information provided. FaZe, 3-1, back up to the top floor. I'll tell you, the 4-2 split is looking more and more likely here. Maybe even a 5-1, depending on how this offsite goes when we get to it next round, depending on, obviously, if FaZe are successful here, but the only big change is going to be the double hard breach. Is that going to be enough? We need to see Malvinas able to execute on that as well and not get dragged into this early roam game.
Yeah, I'm a little bit stunned to not see the Maverick. Yes, it's all well and good bringing double hard breach, but how are you going to get rid of the mute jammer? It means you're going to have to go below and waste other utility. And so as if they're bringing a Sophia, they're going to have to use nades. They're going to have to use nades to eliminate mute jammers, and that's a bit of a waste. You want to use your nades to get rid of more important utility, like such as shields, any banshees that maybe lurk around. Obviously, getting kills is going to be a bonus. They've just used the nade to burn a Wamai disc. Like,
hello?
Come on. Look, and they've used the nade. They've used another nade to eliminate the mute jammer, and that's one less nade to be used to eliminate a guy in attic. Like, you bring Maverick, you get rid of the mute jammers, and you still have 2 nades, Ollie. Guess what? You still have 2 nades with it. Maverick salesman, here we go.
Well, that's it. You need to be the Maverick salesman again, because we really could have done with it, and you just know that FaZe are going to be rocking the Maverick. Cameraman regularly plays with the Mav. Nade sailed on through as more utility is looking to be burnt here. The problem is that Malvinas don't know where a lot of these FaZe players are at the minute. They've got a bullet off-site.
No nades.
Cameraman going to be playing fairly tucked in. There's still players that are going to be off-site that are ready and willing to impact come the later part of the round. Zero drone flies in. Going to get shot out as well. Doesn't even get any utility or real information there to act upon. Quite an aggressive push in through the attic, though. This is the player that we really need to keep our eye on. BLK's seen a lot of the kills so far for Malvinas. Bullet he's going to open up onto this round. Cameraman picks up a second. Attic control or not is looking like it might not even matter. Cyber on the flank takes down Soko and can look to push and move his way on through. The final 2 players, however, for Malvinas are going to be inside of the attic. Cameraman with the swing! How does he get away with it? Takes the head off Diana and looks for more. Ragnarok getting pushed here. Every conceivable angle from the window and the wall. Cyber shuts him down. Long range kill coming up here with the SMG-11. The debris in the way for us, but I'm sure we can appreciate it none the same.
Malvinas, I just don't know. I don't know the idea behind that take. They've wasted nades to burn Wamai discs. They wasted nades to get rid of mute jammers, where realistically Maverick can do that job 10 times better. They tried to use, Ollie, the Flores drones to eliminate mute jammers. That's what they're trying to do, because they don't have any soft breach. They don't have anyone to go below and get rid of mute jammers. I just don't know. I don't know what they're trying to achieve. They've wasted so many nades, got no kills for it. We've seen the attic push. Yes, they were able to gain attic control, but you looked at the shield placement inside of Kids Ollie. It shut down anyone going in towards attic, and because they don't have any utility with the nades, that is now an impenetrable position that FaZe can own, and they owned it.
Well, so far FaZe have pretty much owned this series. 4-1. This was the site that they did lose last time. They did lose the offsite. It was partly off the back of BLK and his great gun skill on that top floor. But realistically, that's looking like it may be getting countered fairly heavily, given that Cameraman's brought the pulse this time. He's going to be trying to gather all that information. Only 2 C4s for FaZe, though, so it's not going to be something that they're very focused on in terms of a whole team. Astro playing the Oryx as well. A bit of a weird choice.
At this stage, FaZe can experiment. Honestly, Ollie, I think they are sitting in the driving seat. The only person from BLK, or the only person from BLK, the only person from Malvinas is BLK who's actually showing up. You know, 9 kills, 4 deaths, rest of his team doing very little. Souls doesn't even have a kill, and it's this dominant. I just don't see this going any way but a FaZe win.
No, it's looking like it's going to be unlikely to be anything else at this point. Obviously, the side switch could be quite important. But realistically, FaZe are just proving in a different league entirely here. Another slow approach from Malvinas. They're fairly well stacked up on this tower side. They'll actually just be opening directly on into sight here, giving themselves a little bit of an option. I feel like they've got so much to clear before they even just consider the site. Sure, there's a little bit of attic control knocking around. FaZe are everywhere and nowhere at the same time. They've got upstairs control. They've got downstairs inside of the basement control. Cameraman moving on through now. He's going to be able to use the heartbeat scanner and potentially throw a C4 up through the hatch. First kill is going to go in favor of Malvinas. A nade now from Might. Look to land onto anything significant. My only main concern at the moment, Demo, is that the site is looking a little bit bare and a little bit empty. FaZe have given away quite a bit of control here in the hope that they're going to be able to retake. If Malvinas recognise that and push on through, they might actually get something down. Ragnar's going to attempt it. He's cut off for the time being and taken down. The C4 from below. The Pulse doing its job. Might's going to be the next player to attempt. Toxic Babe canister this time going on through, but it doesn't look to be causing him any concern. The plant will go down, and now it's a retake. FaZe have to try and move their way on through. Cameraman picks up his second. Astro grabs one as well. 4 versus 2 now. The Terror drone still flying out, desperate to gather any information whatsoever, but the heartbeat scanner is doing just that as well, as Tom, he gets lit on the doorway. Bullet. And he's going to get himself onto that disable. A swing there as Astro is with the cover and fire. Souls as well. Close stuff. FaZe almost body blocking there in the dying few stages.
My, oh my. Malvinas. Like you said, Ollie, the site was looking pretty bare and they just walked in. They walked in, they went for the plant straight away. It was denied from a great C4 from the Pulse, who I thought played a massive part in the information for FaZe for that retake. And then another man just walked in again, stuck to the fuse this time. Breach was a little bit skiffed, just a little bit skewed, but still they managed to make it work. But the retake from FaZe, my oh my. The information from the Pulse, they knew exactly where to aim, they knew exactly where the pre-fire. They could have defused a lot sooner than what they actually went for, by the way, Ollie. I don't know if you've seen the positioning, but they could have long-armed in safety. Away from kind of how the Havana holes were worked out. It was a very easy long arm, but, you know, FaZe, sometimes they make it difficult for themselves. They try and go for style points, Ollie, with a full man retake.
There were style points there, I'm sure, but it wasn't very pretty, was it? FaZe doing FaZe things there. You got to feel for Malvinas because a couple of different circumstances, and that maybe works out for them. They did the heartbeat, they got the plant down. They just didn't have that full control. it was kind of weird to not see them send anybody downstairs. Typically, if teams are actually going to try and plant in that position on that site, they will send somebody downstairs because they know that a C4 is inevitable from below. And especially when you play in a pulse, it's even more likely to land, given that they can actually see where the player is, not just have a call and know the angles and know where the sort of hatch leads to upstairs and which sort of direction you need to throw the C4 on. So, kind of strange choice from Malvinas, but a 5-1 half from FaZe. 2 rounds away from locking themselves into games tomorrow and confirming the major demo.
Yeah, it's very true as well. Doesn't feel like it's been this big, heavy, weighted match all. It just seems the FaZe are having a bit of a warm-up for tomorrow. I mean, Malvinas have looked out of it for quite a while now, and FaZe are on top of their game. You know, game faces on, focused in, honing in as well as they can. You know, I think the storyline for FaZe that we've kind of set out this season only has been disappointing last season. Didn't get into the top 4 position, didn't get to go to the Mexico Major. Similar to what MIBR, I suppose, have probably felt in the past week. So it was all about redemption for FaZe. It was all about vengeance and proving that they are this super studded team. You know, this team that can challenge into, you know, top 4 in the world. Top 8, I think, was the top 8 they finished inside of Invite. So we know the caliber of this team. And it was unfortunate to not be able to see them at Mexico, but with how they're playing, I have no doubt we'll see them at Sweden.
No, they've got to deserve to be there to some degree at this point. You know, they've had a great stage inside of the BR6. And they've really proved themselves in Copa, which is something that we've not really seen them do all too much just yet. You know, the previous Copa seasons haven't been too hot, so it's nice to see them fire on all cylinders when the time is right. But they've still got a game to close out here. For all that they've got a great lead, things can change, especially on a map like Oregon. Babe Gas is going to cut off Bullet as he tries to push down Freezer. Soul's trying to play the laundry hatch as well. Could look to make his way down the stairs. They need to get their act together with the push. They've got pretty much everything they need in the right position. There isn't anybody inside a blue or rear stage, but that isn't going to be their main focus. They're going for a laundry freezer side take. 35 seconds left is when you would expect things to really start happening here. Just waiting for that toxic babe gas to dissipate before pushing through. First 3-4 kills come in for Malvinas before Cyber finds one in return. And even then, it is only Astro left alive. 19 seconds to pick up another 3. He's found one. Unlikely going to be given the opportunity here, as that push was cut off. Something rotten. Malvinas there, standing firm on the laundry site.
Yeah, the C4, massive from Malvinas, really saved them. And FaZe, surprised that they've went for the laundry freezer. I thought whenever I seen the kind of Capital be locked in, Capital's your best friend for taking in towards blue. You know, in towards elbow ollie. You think of how many times people struggle challenging a shield. You quick peek in a Capital bolt, you fill that entire little section up with flames. You can't play in there. You know, we've seen plenty of times where teams have played a Goyo shield inside of elbow. The Goyo shield's been removed, and it covers up that entirety of that square. Capital bolt will do exactly the same job.
Exactly. And maybe that's why we see the Capital banned on Kafe. It was a Malvinas ban, so as soon as it's available here, Cyber's going to be using it. But not to any effect, at least inside of that round. Upstairs now to Kid Storms we go. Malvinas looking to make the comeback. I mean, if there's a map to do it on demo, Oregon's not a bad shout.
Yeah, definitely not. Bad shout at all. Curious to see, though, how Malvinas want to try and play this top floor, because I look at their setup volley. They've got some shotgun holes into the attic wall, facing in towards Trophy. They have the Goyo with a Goyo shield, I believe, set up inside a Trophy also. They will try and hold a little bit more aggressive in towards bedroom as best that they can. FaZe don't have, you know, a Flores on their lineup. Should make really quick work of those Flores drones, but they do have 6 nades. And they have a Maverick! Brilliant from FaZe. A real shining light of their generation. Geniuses, aren't they?
Visionaries, some have said. I mean, it's fairly standard for this map, and it's fairly standard for Cameraman, so maybe we're giving them a little bit too much credit there. But it's good to see nonetheless. I've making a mess downstairs. He focused on giving himself a rotation there for later. Sledge downstairs. We're going to see some of those nades thrown vertically, perhaps. He's going to need a bit of information to be able to do that. The nade is going to come in there from Cameraman. Kind of strange. We see some advantage there being taken as okay, just peeks his way down white. Has an inkling that there could be a cyber at the bottom of it. We'll find opening kill again. FaZe struggling on the attack, getting that opening engagement. We saw the first 4 kills flood in favor of Malvinas last round. This isn't quite as dramatic, but still an opener for the defenders. Going to be a little bit of a weight off their mind right now, as there's maybe a flank on here as well. 2 players going to make that rotation, but at least the first 2 certain death. Mike gets taken on out of the picture. Immediately traded, though, by Soko. So still an advantage here for Malvinas.
He's not good standing. Breach is open for them, though, so they have something to work off. One player lurking downstairs, and still has a... He doesn't have the C4 anymore, and I don't know what he can provide them. He doesn't have the ability to really set up the vertical game. I like this rotation over from Cameraman. Is Am I going to be ready for that engagement? Soko is. He's inside the bedroom, holding on firm as best as he can. And there goes Tom with a double kill. Blink and you miss it. FaZe annihilate it. That C4 is actually pre-placed, it appears to be. That will secure the kills. Malvinas battle back with another round. FaZe starting to slip just a little bit.
I want to know where and when that C4 actually got placed, because Cameraman naded that spot at near to the start of the round. So unless it got placed by a rotating player, or just didn't explode at the time because the nade wasn't close enough to it, but that seems unlikely. Bit of a strange one there. Could be about to see 4-2 halves here for Oregon. Wouldn't be the most unusual thing to see. But the offsite will tell us pretty much everything we need to know in terms of how this game is going to go from this point onwards. Malvinas win here, and boy oh boy, we're probably in for 3 maps. If FaZe are able to grab one back, we've still got a game on our hands, and there is still a chance that they're going to be able to pick up another before Malvinas lock us up into either an overtime or a map win of their own. Villa, of course, the next map to be played if we need it. And there's a lot of people out there that will probably like to see it.
Got a great tweet here for you, Ollie. From Meligini, of course, our other side of the pond, Brazilian broadcasters. And Meligini has tweeted saying, BLK, come to Brazil. I think that's all you need to know about how they're feeling about watching BLK, because right now, he is performing extremely well. Extremely well. A great find. I don't think he's from Argentina. I actually think he's from Paraguay. So, fun fact, there you go. First ever Paraguay player that I've seen. And it looks as if they make some great players.
It does. I'm just on the thing now, and I can confirm. Paraguay is his, well, at least that's the flag that he's got next to his name on Wikipedia, so we can assume that is where he's going to be from.
Yep.
Great to see. It's always great to see the teams that we don't necessarily get to watch week in, week out as well. It's nice to see what else is out there in terms of quality and skill and all that sort of stuff. And there's always a couple of players that pique our interests. And likewise, as you say, I'm sure that there's a couple of players that a few of the Brazilian fans wouldn't mind watching weekly in their own region as well.
Yep, very true.
First time we actually see FaZe get the opening pick here on the attack. Could be a little bit of a foreshadowing there.
Look at Kafe, Ollie. I mean, whenever FaZe got that opening pick, they were just insufferable to play against. If you are Malvinas. Ragnar, though, has managed to get a kill back, and Soko with a C4 has eliminated Astro. Cameraman will look to try and Maverick in towards Kids, but doesn't look as if anyone's... Oh, never mind. Tom is extremely close on his wall, and LK is move in, trying to support him. So the FaZe are going to try and leave that top floor, and all of them are going to rotate downstairs in towards Meeting Souls, attempting now to open up that kitchen wall. This is an attack that we never get to see. Is attackers go for a meeting side take, open up in towards kitchen wall, and it is again a worry, Ollie, because they don't have kids control, and the kids players can essentially stop anyone walking in.
Yeah, FaZe look to be almost clutching at straws here with this approach. We've got Cyber looking to make his way through small office. Ragnar are able to reposition some yokai drones there as well. There's going to be nobody upstairs for the time being, and probably for the foreseeable inside of this round. Cameraman looking to make his way through the barricade at the top of Freezer stairs. Going to be greeted with a shotgun if he does so, and if he isn't careful, the players inside of security there. He's got some information to work with as well. FaZe very split up, and they need to start winning these engagements. Cyber's going to start leveling things up to a 3 versus 3. Soko, he's got the shotgun in close range, finds one. Can he grab the second? This would almost be it for FaZe as the final 2 kills, 3 kills, all sail on through. FaZe looking lost in the last 30 seconds of that round, split up without all too much of a plan at all. For Malvinas there to win on the split side demo, that could be massive. That could be us going to a guaranteed overtime here.
Yeah, and FaZe don't know what to say about that round. Oh, like, close your eyes. I want you to picture something. Okay?
Yeah.
Nice,
Okay,
close, right? Now imagine FaZe as a chicken. Okay? And imagine that chicken's head's been cut off. That was what they were doing that round.
See, I imagined like a cockerel.
Right?
With, you know, like the redness under the cockerel's neck?
Yeah.
That was like an F for FaZe.
Oh. So sad.
That was the shape of it.
I'm leaning back. I'm just, yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Well, because I wasn't allowed to imagine a head, you see. Because I was too busy like figuring out which FaZe player I'd want as the head of the chicken. But then when you told me it didn't have one, I was like, well, it's obvious, isn't it? It's got a FaZe neckerchief on.
Brilliant. Brilliant. We'll have to go out and try and find a chicken and actually make that picture happen. It's like, because now you've really set up the mind.
I think it'd probably be safer to draw it.
Maybe we can get in contact with FaZe. Maybe see if they can hire out a chicken for some content. So, I open up the emails. Oh, I've got a message. Oh, an email. Oh, can you buy a chicken and we will dress it up in FaZe gear? New mascot for FaZe, the FaZe chicken.
Headless chicken. And certainly what they look like there inside of that round, and what they've looked like on attack so far, which is shocking, going from how confident they were on the defense. They were happy to take any engagement. They were happy to get out there on the roam and do whatever they liked. Now they've got themselves onto the attack, and it's like, oh god, guys, we might actually have a bit of a problem on our hands here. We need to start pulling rounds from somewhere, otherwise this is going to go to Villa. And if this goes to Villa, we don't know which way it's going to go.
Still lead advantage of from FaZe, Ollie. We still have to keep that in mind. FaZe still in a good position, because now this is where they have a chance now to rectify their mistakes and rectify the issues that might have happened to them last round. This is where they get like the kind of full rotate of attacking all the bomb sites again, and they will start now with the basement. They went for a laundry freezer take last time, and it looks as if they're going to try and do a similar thing once again. I don't know if that's the greatest idea, considering that they are up against the mirror windows. The mirror is very, very difficult to deal with, as we know in this current state, where teams don't have the easiest way of kind of incorporating like a Twitch into your lineup. It's very difficult to really sacrifice an operator in favor of a Twitch whenever we are in still a very heavy utility meta, where we're used to seeing, you know, either Sophia or an Ashe, and obviously the nade operators always play a big part, so it can be tricky. Might is inside freezer. Hatch is open for him though. He doesn't care. He's still looking for the swings. Risky position to be playing in. FaZe are going to try and take their time and see what they want to do. Moving down in towards laundry. Bullet will go. Still has 2 nades in his pocket. Potential nade of the mirror window. Would that be an option for them? But then again, there are plenty of ADSs. When you have one eye disc, and that's a great swing from Might. The information only being fed through the mirror window. This is what I'm talking about. The mirror makes it just so difficult to really take advantage of what you can have as an attacker on this bomb site.
Mirrors really are a big problem here. I think that FaZe are feeling that pinch pretty severely at the moment. Trying to gather as much intel as possible. It's the second time that the Hibana pellets have been shot off the mirror window as well. Might seeing some aggression here. He's going to push through, take down Astro. Cameraman immediately in there with the refrag. Nade cooked and sent through. But it's going to be Tom that finds the kill onto Cameraman. As FaZe are all but down to souls. Picks one, got 3 more to find. 20 seconds to do so. Caught in the woodwork. The Toxic Babe canister going to cut off a lot of that vision as well. This honestly looks like we could be leveling things up to 5-5. C4 shot out on the floor there. Souls isn't being given an opportunity. Malvinas, they are sitting on their hands. At least everyone apart from Tom is, as he pops up from behind the broken mirror and is able to pick up that final kill.
My oh my, FaZe Clan, we're sitting 5-1 up. And Malvinas have pulled back 4 rounds in a row. My oh my, what do you say about FaZe at this moment? Because it's not looking good for them. That basement, again, they've just tried to flood their way in through Laundry and Freezer, and they've just hit a wall. The mirror windows. Oh dear, Astro. So, Ollie, I know that I've been a big speaker of a team like NIP where things aren't going well for them. Panic Monty.
Oh dear.
Panic Monty from FaZe. It has appeared.
Take a deep sigh. Take a very, very deep breath. Inhale the copium if you are a FaZe fan. On Astro as well. You know, you think about all the players to put onto a Monty, and, you know, it's a conversation we bring up every time, and it's worth it. If you bring in a shield, you're losing a gun. Astro 9 and 7 at the moment, and you're losing that gun. Might not be the best thing. Might not be exactly what you need here. FaZe are going to try and pull something. They need to try and get a plant off. They need to try and get some control, grab a couple of kills, do whatever it may be. Got hurt nearly everywhere last time that they attacked into this site. The flanks were a problem. Just getting themselves in to the building was a problem. There's pre-placed C4s below. It was a nightmare. Is the Monty the answer to those questions?
I'd like to think that the Monty can do something for them, but it is going to be very, very difficult to see what FaZe have in store for us. Because we don't really associate Monty with a team like FaZe. I don't really think it's one that I would ever really say, oh, you know, that they could play this Monty. Oh, yes, that, you know, that's a good pick from them. It just never really seems like that for me, personally, whenever I watch FaZe. I think they're much more of a team who likes the aggression and playing off the refrags that they can gain. They're not really in it for the information. The closest thing I would say we get to information for FaZe would be a Lion. That's what we see a lot from FaZe, is a Lion choice, and that was a pre-play C4 from Tom, but Cyber caught onto and probably expecting, hey, if the C4 is there, the Goyo won't be too far away, and he got his man, and that is a good start for FaZe. And Monty's still alive, which will cause, of course, as we know, Malvinas problems as it gets into that late game. Whenever Monty is staring right at you, feeding that information, what can you do against them? Go out of the smoke. They have no real way of countering this Monty right now.
Tom getting caught out there for being a little bit too predictable. There was a pre-play C4 in the previous round. It's not something that you're going to catch. Cyber out with 2 rounds in a row. Ooh, what is going on here? Astro able to grab the kill onto Mai there as some aggression was being shown. Soko, he's going to be very vulnerable, especially given the positioning of his Goyo shield. It's actually going to force him all the way back. The angle can't be traversed, but it's not going to matter. The pinch is there as FaZe start to pick up kills at a serious rate of knots. Ragnaral left as the final surviving player on Malvinas, and he too will be shut down. FaZe have woken up a flawless here just when they needed it to put themselves on match and series point.
Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff from FaZe. That opening pick I thought was extremely well executed by the Sophia. And then from there, you just think FaZe, they have all this control. I mean, Malvinas, the strategy that they were playing, it gave them the main breach, Ollie. The main breach was opened up by the defense. Attic wall was opened up by the defense. All these little elements that assist FaZe have been crucial. FaZe now, they sit match point 1 round away from going to Sweden. 1 round. What are the instructions? How are they? What are they gonna do? I mean, if they want to go to Sweden, Ollie, I mean, it is, of course, the land of instructions. And they need to try and build together around, don't they?
It's going to be relentless, that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I've got a particular, I've got a particular person in mind that could be a bit of a nightmare with those puns.
Sweden already is setting up to be quite the event. I am interested though, to see how the EU situation still manages to find out, because I still don't know how that's going to work out. So it's definitely going to be a good event. And right now, I think we have two great teams to represent Brazil. You have Team 1, we have Furia. We know what both those teams are capable of. Very, very young. I mean, I always looked at NIP, FaZe, and Liquid, Ollie, as the kind of old guard. Maybe not Liquid now with the 2 new additions, but still, I think, still old guard. And Fury and Team 1 have been this new generation. The Wonder Kids.
They're the Zoomers. They really are. The Zoomers that come in with the fresh aim and all the fancy electronics, the fancy train, and they're the ones that are, like, really here to play at the moment. And FaZe are a part of that old guard, like you say. That you do get the feeling that they're heavyweights.
They have the Immortals legacy as well inside the FaZe.
Yeah.
I remember, Cyber was a long-standing member of that lineup.
It looks as though they're here to play in this round. They're going to pick up the opener yet again. And LMG doing the work. Spoke to cameraman about the LMGs and the state of the game and stuff, and he was like, without doubt, the best weapons on attack. And Astro showed us just exactly why. Tons of ammunition, and in his capable hands, he's easily able to pick up that opening engagement. Immediately puts Malvinas here on the back foot. Souls just going to be gathering a little bit of info here, along with Cyber. Opted for the Twitch this time. There isn't going to be any mirror in play, but he's still able to remove utility as you see fit. Great nade there coming in from cameraman off the back of some information, no doubt. FaZe looking pretty unstoppable here. Toxic Babe canisters already being used as the plant is going down under the cover of the Capital. Souls is probably going to nail that one to the floor, and there's nothing that Malvinas can do about it. Soko and Tom now caught out in Showers, and Showers corridor as smoke is going to cut off lines of sight. Players getting lit all over the shop. BLK steps up, picks up the first kill, shutting down Souls, but is it going to be enough? Soko inside of the bathroom has to land his shots here and will. But very quickly, he is the sole survivor. He's in a retake. He's got 22 seconds. He's got kills to find and a diffuser to disable, and he cannot do any of it. Astro's going to swing and pick up that final kill with the pistol, and that is FaZe guaranteed for tomorrow. They lock themselves into that game against Furia.
Well done, the FaZe. Not only does it lock them in for tomorrow's matchup against Furia, that will lock them into a top 4 position this split inside of LATAM. And that does mean they get a ticket to Sweden for the major in November. So congratulations to FaZe. A great redemption arc from the last split. And yeah, seeing them have just a massive overhaul in terms of how they've been playing this split has been great to see. I think they've played well against every single team they've been up against. They have played well. So all credit to FaZe this split, and commiserations to, I suppose, Malvinas. Also, I think BLK was a great prospect, and like I kind of added on to Malagini. He wants him over in Brazil. He wants him there.
He very well does, and I think had it not been for BLK's contribution today, it would have been a very quick game indeed. But FaZe were able to get that one over the line. They really turned it on in those last couple of rounds, and I think that was what we were expected from a team as seasoned as FaZe.
We got quite a performance there, particularly, as you say, FaZe picking it up when it counted. Malvinas really challenged them, took it, not all the way, obviously. We didn't quite see an overtime or anything else like that, but great to see FaZe come home. And look, as we've said, full credit to Malvinas. They've played their guts out here. They've done a great job in really giving us a show. And even if the final map score is 2-0, I think Malvinas can still walk away from this pretty satisfied with the performance that they put on there. They were the underdogs coming into this round. We knew that. We knew that in this map they were going to struggle against FaZe. But Demo, I don't think it's even fair to say that they struggled, particularly in that second map. I think they really gave it their all. Yeah,
I think FaZe in that second map, started off so well. It was almost, okay, that's it, wrap it up. Let's get this, next game rolling. But no, Malvinas just started kind of easing themselves into the game. I think they set up correctly for what FaZe were trying to achieve with some of their attacks. I mean, the basement definitely needs to get looked at from FaZe because they were all over the place. Really didn't know what they were after. But still, end of the day, I suppose FaZe are inevitable. And coming into this competition, I suppose that it would be a shame to see them lose, and I think it would be a massive upset. Like, probably one of the biggest upsets I think LATAM has seen if they didn't go out here and win today, just considering the current form that they were under throughout this stage. So well-deserved from FaZe, and yeah, rightfully so, take their spot top 4 and move on to the major now.
Yes, indeed. And of course, move on to our semi-finals, as you say, in the top 4. They'll be facing off against Furia, if my information is correct. And boy, that is going to be a tough one for them, seeing as Furia at the moment, Ollie, just untouchable. This team has not taken their feet off the accelerator, and Fuse have got a challenge lined up for them tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Furia have really shone since they got into the Copa Elite 6. They had a really rocky last, couple of play days leading up to the end of Stage 3. But as we can see, the results really speak for themselves. So that's one that I'm going to certainly be keeping a keen eye on. I know it's a nice match between me and Demo as well, because I'm a bit Furia-sided. Demo's a bit FaZe-sided.
I mean, look at the FaZe-Furia game from the stage.
That's what I mean. It was a good
what a game.
A great game. Probably one of the best games that we've seen.
Yeah.
Certainly one of the best games that I can remember seeing just directly off the top of my head. So to get that played in a best-of-3 environment, we're in for a treat.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be fantastic. Tomorrow, of course, we'll also see Team 1 take on the winner of our quarterfinal. Quarterfinal number 2 coming up very shortly. Team Liquid versus Ninjas in Pajamas. So we'll see who takes that out. NFP been struggling for form recently. Liquid have done pretty well in contrast, particularly during that group stage of the Copa Elite 6. So another cracker coming up in just a moment. Looks like we are going to have an interview, however, here. We're getting things lined up so we can talk to Cameraman and get some perspectives on that win 2-0. If you've just joined us, FaZe Clan taking out Malvinas 2 maps to 0 there. And a good performance from them, although a couple of things I would imagine for them to look at. Let's bring up the bracket and have a look at exactly where we stand now. But a couple of things for FaZe to look at here, particularly as they head into this match against Furia that we can see their demo. That's going to be a big one tomorrow. Furia versus FaZe Clan. Is it just very clear that Furia are the favourites here, or are we going to see a real contest?
Oh, I don't think you have a favourite in that game. I think both teams have been on form. Look, it is, like I kind of mentioned on the cast, it's the old guard versus the new generation. That's the kind of matchup we're dealing with. Furia at times have looked untouchable, and equally so FaZe. But then I think both teams have also had their unfortunate scenarios where there's been rounds where we've looked at both sides and thought, what are they doing? So it all depends on who wants to really show up and perform. As we know, both those sides are elite. They've got what they wanted. They got into that top 4. They got the Sweden. Anything else now is a bonus.
Absolutely, and we'll see them duke that out tomorrow, of course. But right now, looks like Cameraman is standing by for an interview here. Cameraman from the victorious FaZe Clan, who's just taken up Malvinas 2 maps to 0. Let's bring Cameraman in and have a chat. Oh, no, okay. Doesn't look like we do have Cameraman after all. We are working through it behind the scenes, but we'll see. No, it doesn't look like we're going to have Cameraman here. No, never mind. That's all right. Instead, we turn our attention to the next quarterfinal. Ollie, I'll start with you, talking about NIP versus Team Liquid here. NIP, as I said before, they've been struggling for form recently.
Yeah, they really have. And I was just having to sort of glance over the statistics there, just generating a few questions to ask Cameraman, but I guess some of them are a little bit valid for this as well. NIP, when I was looking at those stats, they're really not looking too good at the moment. I know that we noted that they had a rocky stage, but it's going to be a really big test for them. And I think especially going up against Liquid, you've got part of that mental pressure of going up against Liquid, knowing that these two are just battling it out constantly. It's like they're each other's sort of nemesis almost, but in the nicest possible way. So I think for that reason and that reason alone, it's going to be a big game. And obviously NIP, they're not as confident in themselves as we've seen lately. So those reasons really, sort of lend it to be a good one.
It is definitely going to be a good one. We do hope you'll stick around as we get across it. Right now, we're going to take a break, get things set up for our second and last quarterfinal of the day. But don't go anywhere, because we'll be back with more Siege after this.